behavioral scientists study this for different types of stress pressured groups, like people that are in paramedics in the military doing special ops. There's so many different industries that require technical training, and they're usually done in small, like silos, like each component is handled individually. Like an athlete might be, a sports coach might say, stare at a candle for 3 hours to gain that focus and concentration, so they're not in the noise, they're regulating their stress. So the pathway is a system, a unique combined system of all these different independent methods into a unique system that is specifically designed for speakers to handle stress, to be able to walk into that room within the first few minutes of anxiety and regulate pressure. And there's 5 steps to it that involve parts of the Remarkable framework.
It's a great book. What's the name of the book again? Let the audience know.
Remarkable Speaking, a framework to embody your voice and your vision.
Dive into a client that you work with, because you've got great stories. I've heard them before of that and how you help them.
A CTO, a chief technology officer of a very large aviation company, was quite panicked about presenting in a conference with over 500 people. We were going through the 5 steps of the pressure response, things that this person could do to sort of navigate the nerves. I mean, they were feeling very overwhelmed. They've spoken before, just like you said, on podcasts. This person has been in conferences, but something about this one just changed the stakes for them. They had a very important part that they were presenting, and he wanted it to be so right. And we reflected back on the journey. Well, tell me about an aha moment where this tool really was the pivotal moment. But in minutes, he basically told me about the situation where the team was working together and one of the scientists discovered something about the part and it just switched everything. And they said, wow, we got this tool. We can now run to the audience with it, to our clients, and they're just going to flip. Doing that, recreating that story was like, yeah, that was pretty amazing. And the energy came back in telling that story, the natural tendency of just being yourself, and the pressure started to dissolve as he was sharing this story. People came up to him during that conference, after the conference, ready to sign up. How can I get that? What do I need to do?
Talk about your book real quick and what people are going to get when they get your book.
So what's exciting about the book, and this came from, honestly, clients, it's like having a coach in your pocket. I have all the drills in there that you need to help regulate the pressure, to help, speak at ease, tell more stories, where to find stories. And because there's worksheets in the book and there's diagrams and you connect online and download a whole workbook, it literally is having a coach in your pocket, because I want people not just a one and done, sit in my workshop or come get training from me. You want to maintain that. And so the book functions like a support system for you, a reminder. Oh yeah, let me go back and try this. And that's kind of the design of it. So I'm coaching you as I'm speaking to you in the book. And at the same time, you can use it as a refresher, as a checklist, however it could help serve you anytime you need it.
And as a coach, I have the book. I've read the book. It's changed my life. I mean, I still go into networking groups where I don't do much, and I tell my story. What's one big tip people can do to be better at speaking overall?
Have a pre-game speaking routine. 15 minutes, 30 minutes before you step into a room. I did it before I came on this podcast. Boom, boom, boom. A little drill that helps you regulate the pressure so you have the clarity. You can think. You have focus. The noise is quieted down. You've reframed and have a good feeling, because when you really do this routine, it reframes the situation to a positive place. And that's what you're going to believe.
Let's use the sports arena. Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. You can read their books, their memoir. They'll tell you about their routines, daily, before games, after games.
That's right.
It just makes you better and keeps you consistent. I want to dive into connecting. The first impression, the first 10, 20, 30, whatever seconds, I hear it's different seconds, are the most important when people meet you. But you talk about telling your story, not Steve Ramona, the CPA who saved $100 million for my clients. That's features and benefits. Tell us how we should really introduce ourselves.
So that's another stressor reducer, because telling your story out of the gate is something you know. You don't have to worry about, do I have the exact words? Am I going to say something wrong? It's your journey. So not only is a story compelling and captivating, we've been telling stories for 30,000 years since cave drawings, right? This is how we communicate. And telling a story relaxes you because you're sharing a part of your journey that you know very well. Again, it captivates the audience, but it reduces the pressure because you're engaging in something that's unique about you, and people may relate to a similar story, but it's a great way to connect.
Well, I'm going to give you kudos. She doesn't know I'm going to say this, but I was on a podcast 2 days ago and got done. Big podcast. A little bit nervous. I don't get nervous anymore, but the gentleman told me, I've done so many podcasts. Yours was the best because you told the best stories.
Ooh.
And the reason I did that because of your book and your expertise. Because thank you, because you could tell your story, but he said, you're so passionate, energetic about telling a story, and I've told it 100 times, and you're right. You never forget your story or the story that you've been involved with. Change the game. He's going to introduce me to a bunch of people. It's going to elevate my business, which we forget. We impress people with good speaking, good stories. We're not forgettable. When I'm meeting somebody and trying to connect and build a relationship, can I ask Joe Smith, hey, tell me your story. What are you all about? Does that help me connect with Joe Smith better?
The key to all of this, asking questions, speaking, is specificity. So I gave you a specific story about a particular client I worked with. You're telling me about a particular podcast you were on the other day. It's being specific with an example. Not only do you help narrow the focus for everybody in the room, but you're making it easier for the person you're asking the question to. So as a podcaster, you're asking a question, tell me about yourself. Well, gee, where do I start in my decades of being on this planet? That's a loaded question, but you can make it easier by saying, there's so many things you've done. Tell me about the very first job you ever had and how that impacted you today. When you get so specific, you're helping me with that question to give a specific response. And my brain also is not figuring out, where do I land with that?
What are some of the myths that you can break up that aren't really myths about speaking?
I could say your nerves may never go away. You just said it today. You've high 500 plus podcasts. You felt a little bit of anxiety in this show that you were on. It happens. So the nerves will never go away. You learn how to regulate them. You have a system to gain, because you're human. The energies, you had a bad night the night before. Maybe you had too much coffee. Who knows where the energy is coming from? You got to regulate it. So that's one big myth. It'll never go away, but you can regulate it. When you do the reframe piece to say, I'm nervous, I'm excited. The body, it's energy in the body. That nerves is sending chemicals and energy through your body. That's how your system works. Your brain labels it as, I'm nervous, I'm panicked, I'm fearful. Your brain can just as easily say, I'm excited, this is going to be fun, I feel great. And that positive reframe becomes motivation. So you need the energy. You don't want it to just go away 100%. You want that excitement to motivate you, to propel you forward, to show intrigue and curiosity. So when you start to really reframe that ball of energy, the response is going to be different. And again, the positive response is as easy to believe as the negative one. This is about, yes, the tools are great. And I keep reiterating it because our idea of what's holding us back is not necessarily enough to hold us back forever. We can get beyond that. And these tools are for everybody because we all deserve the right. We all deserve the opportunity to share what's important to us, to motivate and help others.
Great news. The conversation continues. When you subscribe, like, and ring the bell, you'll know when a new episode has released. As always, speak remarkably.